Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Working?
Should just be able to speak, can it?
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Is that working? There we go. Testing, testing. Cool. Is that working?
I can hear from here.
Testing. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll bounce off that. Ah, yeah. Cool. Okay, welcome everybody to the Planning Development and Licensing Committee on Thursday, the 22nd of May. Hope you're all good. Guess there's no members of the public for speaking, so I guess we'll go on to the first item, which is apologies. What apologies have we got this evening?
Thank you, Chair. We have apologies tonight from Councillor Stainthorpe and Councillor Toos.
Thank you very much. The next item is declarations of interest. Is there any declarations of interest this evening? The only thing I'd like to address is one of the items that we're looking at this evening is part of Gideon Amos, who's the MP for the Taunton Wellington. So I just wanted to address that anyway. Yeah, we'll still address it. Is there any more, Marcus?
Thank you, Chair. If you're referring to the item for listed building consent works at Weir Lodge 83 Staplewood Road, I don't know whether if all councillors want to perhaps make that as a declaration.
Yeah,
Just to be
probably ought to.
safe and that you haven't discussed the application with the applicant. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okey-dokey. Guess do we have to?
No.
First, the minutes to approve and sign as a correct record of the minutes of the previous planning committee held on 24th of April 2025. Has everybody read through it? They're happy? Any comments? Okey-dokey. To support this these minutes, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Tully, could I get a second, please? Councillor Furman, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. The next item is the forward plan. Members to note the planning, development and licensing forwarding plan. Has everybody had a chance to glance at this? Are there any comments? So like the last item, to support this, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Please, thank you. Right, traffic management requests, to consider recent traffic management requests related to Binland Road. I'm going to pass the mic to Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So this was a request by Mr. Eamon, who said he would possibly be able to make it, but it appears he hasn't been able to this evening. He's made contact with the traffic management team at Somerset Council in relation to parking restrictions on Binland Road. I think when obviously there was a suspension put in recently along there when the gas main works were being done on Staplewood Road. I think that's sort of prompted the approach as to how much easier it was to commute through that road. But I understand Councillor Furman has supplied some further information. He's got some experience being a former district council of this area and further restrictions that were looked at and implemented previously. I did speak to Kate Brown at Traffic Management, and she said she alluded to the previous works that have been done and the fact that there are residents along there at the top end that would need it. The only thing she said you could possibly do, and it would be for the town council to fund, would be to widen that bit at the end where the John Packer building is of the road, where there is a little bit of green verge, so that you've got cars going right and going left. Sometimes the gap's not, and you can see on the Google Maps where there's been some deterioration to grass verge. But in terms of any further restrictions, as Mr. Ewan was consulting on, she would thought that there would be a number of objections to putting in a further traffic regulation order around that area and restricting the parking further. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any comments on this? That's done.
Yes, obviously I submitted my comments to Marcus, but just saying, you know, if we are to, if we do want to make changes, you do have to consult the residents and kind of, have a bit of a negotiation as to, so that they can, still park their cars along that bit of the road.
Councillor Tully?
I would like to know if they're all residents parking, because I don't think they are. I think most of that parking is people going using it for work. They don't park in the main industrial estate there on the left hand side. They tend to park on the main road. Going back to when I was county councillor, we did a survey on it and we found, I think, about 40% weren't residents at all. Maybe if they brought in resident parking along there, that'd do them.
Councillor
Yes, I suppose some of it might be, commuting parking. But I think, quite a few of them do use it, for residential. And I mean, the businesses along there do have their own car parks. So if those businesses aren't providing staff parking, then that's something we can ask the businesses to try and provide as well.
Yeah, it kind of sounds to me there just needs to be a little bit of transparency on what's going on in this, the setup on the road. Like Councillor Cluttley said, whether there is private parking in place there. Do we know about that, or is it just free parking along that road at any time? I'm not entirely sure on Deane Road. Councillor.
So it is free parking, but obviously there's double yellows along bits of it where you can't go.
Yeah. Okay, so the item really is to consider recent traffic management requests. So where can we help Deane Road on this to improve? What do we suggest improving? Lesser.
There was recent requests made to me in the County area, and I think effectively sure all residents are aware that they do need to, effectively be leaders of it and create the petitions and things like that. And I know Mark has shared data with me, which I handed on to the gentleman in question, Belvedere, to start a petition they were requesting residential parking. And so it's just, I think, probably making people aware that actually it's not something that it wouldn't be led by us. We need to make sure they realise that actually it needs to be a resident-led thing, and they need 60% of residents to sign and all these things. I think there's information we can share with the person in question if they're not here. But it is very much, I think that's probably how we can help, is to make sure they realise that it's not something we will necessarily be able to lead.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Lesson. And I was just going to add, Mr. Eamon, I don't believe he is a resident. He says he travels into Taunton by car or bus via Deane Road. So we haven't got the views of the residents of Deane Road here. 9 absolute residents that do use parking to balance it one way or the other. I think, like you say, perhaps a petition or some other mechanism to try and give councillors more of an understanding rather than the basis of one person's opinion or one further.
Councillor Lesson.
Yeah, I used to live just opposite Mills Road, and Deane Road was the last part of my commute, or the beginning of my commute. And it very much when it was no parking along there, it was infinitely better from a commuting point of view, for sure. I don't travel that way anymore, but my parents don't like that way. I think there's a number of things you could do, just even extending the yellow lines a little bit further down the road, because it all seems to mount up on the junction, and then you've got people can't get around the junction and it all backs up. And so I understand that the people have seen it without the parking, then one suddenly realised that how big an issue or how much of an impact parking does have on that route.
So really get Phil to kind of email back as as from this committee to say that a survey really needs to be taking place from local residents, but also from from that area, because like I said, from one person's opinion, who drives to work, we all have driven that way, and we do agree that it does get bad.
In a maple road. You get too many cars going right at blocks.
Especially around all the old chaplains.
All of these are here. Yes, Dolly.
To say this, but when I was the county councillor for that division, the suggestion was to make it a one-way system. I nearly got hung for that, but that is the one way of doing it, because people do park and there isn't passing places. Maybe that's the answer.
Is there any other comments on this? No. So I think going back to what a lot of us have said about possibly going back with an email about raising a survey, but also raising a little bit of consultation about what actually is going on in the area, but also to see what residents' thoughts are as well. Is that okay? Go back with that. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Do we have to vote on this as well? Yes, cool. Okay, so on that part, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Furman and Councillor Tully, the second. Can we go to the vote, please? Carried. Thank you very much. The next item is Staple Grove West Design Guide, discharge of conditions. Then to consider the design guide, the discharge conditions 3, 4 and 5 of applications 38-23-0347. Let's get that up on the screen. Yeah, on the screen. Yeah. I say look for each one would be great.
There is a 3, 4 and 5.
Yeah, 3, 4 and 5. So yeah, if we have a look at that. If we head back a second.
In the permission letter, it says that conditions 3 is prior to the first submission of any reserved matters application for a residential development place making strategy will be provided. Each applicant, number 4 is each application for approval of reserved matters shall be accompanied by a neighbourhood master plan design guide. Condition 5 is each application for approval of reserved matters shall be accompanied by an appearance palette, which includes the phase or sub-phase to which the application for approval of reserved matter relates.
Now, surface materials, it's pretty straightforward. Councillor Furman?
Yeah, so I looked at some of the designs they had the other day, and a lot of it is they have to zoom in on a particular area where it was sort of next to a play park, and it was sort of like a bus gate that also allowed for cycle access and pedestrian access. And it also showed some of the designs for their housing, saying how they're going to fit in, where they could solar panels on the roof, heat pumps if available. They're going to be using wood from sustainable sources.
It's kind of the council lesson.
Yeah, are these contractable agreements, or are they just things they're going to say they're going to do?
Change.
Because Orchard Grove's on my patch, and the number of things that were on the original plan that are now more and more houses and less stuff is just slightly embarrassing, to be honest. So if I love all these commitments, but they've got to be firm commitments that somewhere there's recourse if they're not followed. We need to be smarter, because it all sounds great, but we need commitments. We need it in writing, and we need recourse if they don't.
Councillor
Well, I guess these are all design guides, so it's just saying what they can do. As you know, I don't think there's anything particularly, there's not a legally binding saying it all has to be like that. But obviously this is what they're submitting to Somerset Council. So I guess we can say as a condition we're wanting to see a lot of these sustainability and ecological factors, but including in the design guides, to definitely be implemented. But obviously it's up to Somerset Council whether they decide to include that as a legally binding thing.
Yeah, I think going forward in projects at scale, I think bringing sustainability onto building sites, the air source heat pumps and solar panels really need to be a must on those new builds now. I'd probably say, if not, of everyone. So because not every site will have gas, and at the same time, it's not cleanest energy. So I think definitely, I definitely think there's a few points we could add to this. Personally think, comments, if we could add to this application, like the green, like sustainability to be a real big point for them to actually stay at, be really quite important.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm just looking at this form that Councillor Furman supplied. So obviously this was done at the consultation event.
That was supplied by the promoters.
Okay.
Sweeney.
Is this specifically in relation to the discharge of conditions, or is this more of a general?
Well, it's to do with the whole design guide.
Do you want us to? Do you think we should go through this as a committee? The questions in there tonight?
Yeah, I think it would be quite good to go through it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's fine. So what I can do, if I go through the form, and as a committee we can discuss each point. So obviously, if we could just relationship with Taunton, obviously representation would be great. Housing situation. Next, do you support the need for new housing in Taunton? Yes, with reservations on that.
I guess. Yes, residential done.
You want my true answer on that one? The answer is no. But what we need in Taunton is more social housing. These are going to be big, expensive housing, and I can assure you we have enough of those at Westmonton.
Councillor Furman and then Councillor Lesson.
Yes, I guess we could say yes as reservations that this will obviously take out a lot of countryside fields that are currently on there. But at the same time, Taunton is getting more populous, and we can use houses for it.
I actually would say no as well. We've got developments that are going to be being built on for 10 years because they're slowing down the rate in which they're building houses they already have permissions for. We don't need new developments, we need the old ones to be finished.
Okay, so is that a no with reservations or the tournament? I personally say with the the rate of that I totally agree with Councillor Tully. The need for social housing is massive. If there's a list of probably 10,000 people that need social housing in the country, for every house, say every 1,000 we build, there's 10,000 still needed. So the need for social housing is definitely a need. I'd probably say Taunton itself is getting more and more less and less green space. So the actual volume of houses that need to be built, I think just has to be balanced up with the amount of green space we actually have. Because before we know it, we're going to be no green space, or if it is, it's going to be heavily over volume, so it's too many people. So, Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. Sure, obviously, if there's a diversity of viewpoints, whether you don't have to make a collective response.
Yeah.
Whether you want, we can supply you with the contact details, perhaps the person running the consultation, you reply as individuals. So
If you could create that into a way, either if it's printed for people who can, obviously you can't here and fill it in themselves, it can be printed for them, or if it is sent out to emails, whether it can just be ticked or filled out, quite simple, then you can send it straight back. Councillor.
So they have created a website, like a consultation website, people can go to, as well as an email that people can send their feedback to as well.
Perfect. Is Councillor Tully?
Yeah, it's easy to go to their main office website and go that way. I had a job in Huntsville the other day.
Right.
The other thing that bothers me, it looks very nice and all very open to what they showed. The main road going in is just above the Milksfields roundabout. It's just about halfway between that, and I can't think of the road where the shops on the corner. It goes in halfway there, and the roundabout seems as if they've been taken. It's going to be taken out, and that's what concerned me. That's a busy road at the best of times. I'd like Harvest look into that if that's possible.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think on Councillor Fun.
I was going to answer to, so as part of the application they're doing, in terms of taking away the roundabout, they're putting in traffic lights and a lot of sort of pedestrian crossings sort of across there, because as it currently is, you sort of have to cross whenever there's a space, unless it's very busy, you're kind of, taking your life into your hands a bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So on this agenda then, I think going back to what Marcus said, if it could be passed out to us all on the committee, we could even venture out past that even into the full everybody on the council. It's probably a good idea to get a real overview of Taunton Town Council, and then kind of or send out the website and people can do it that way as well. Is that cool? Yeah. So
just pop that on the Teams.
Cool.
So, no.
Yeah, no worries. So everybody's got access.
Yeah.
Councillor
So, Chair, I would advise anybody's going to look at it to look at all of it. They hide a lot of things amongst that lot.
Yeah.
I spent all day yesterday looking through it, so I do know what's in it, and I'm not very enamoured with them. Remember, we've dealt with persimmons, and they are the craft is. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but that's my opinion.
That's okay.
So just on this one, you're not proposing to make any comments as a planning committee on discharge?
Yeah, I think so.
Design guide.
I think we'll all do it individually, going through their website, or if people struggle with the website, they can just yeah, that'd be great. On that point, could I get a proposal in a seconder just for that, for us to agree on that? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote, please? Gary, thank you very much. Right, the next item is road naming request. Members to consider to request a street naming and numbering service prioritise naming a road after the twin town of Coinslutter, following a request from the local twinning group. That's Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So your terms of reference as a committee, you will see that one of the things listed in there is street naming and numbering. But actually, I believe it sits as a function with Somerset Council. And we have had a request. I don't know if you remember at the annual town meeting, there was a lady who raised it under the public participation section. Around the fact that obviously there is Lizzie Way in Taunton, but no Königslutter Way. And then we have had an email come in through the info app from the secretary of the Friends of Königslutter Group, saying that she's made contact about this issue before. And as Taunton Together this year celebrates the River Tone, it would be a great time to name a road Königslutter, as it means King's River. As the Twin Town is visiting the town in September, and with such disruption in the world, it would be a great celebration of Taunton's diverse and inclusive nature. It would also be fantastic if our Mayor Martin Strauss could unveil the road sign, as Königsklutter's Mayor did for Taunton Ring Road. So I've tried to have a look at the policy that is on the Somerset Council website. I don't think it would be a request to rename an existing street, which obviously comes with a whole host of issues. But I think what I would propose, if you're supportive, was sending an email to the service saying, we've had this request come in, we'll be supportive. How do we get it on the list of if there's new streets being created as part of developments? In either Staple Grove or Orchard Grove.
Staple Grove West design.
Yeah, whether that would be something that you could add to the list of supported. But thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Good question. In that town that we're linked to, do they have a road called Taunton?
Yeah.
They do. So it kind of, yeah, definitely is balanced by doing it then. That's a great idea. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think everybody on this committee probably agrees with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I personally think, as this planning committee do agree. And how do we go about getting the ball rolling? Marcus?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I mean, it's not clear from the policy document how we would. So I think my first port of call would be to just contact the service area and say, how do we do this? There's an appetite to do it. Go from that and report back.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, so could I get a proposal on this then? Councillor Lester, could I get a second, please? Councillor Furman, could we go to the vote, please? Thank you. Also on that point of road names, would somebody be able to maybe send out to this committee or even to councils where sometimes walking my patch, or even I've had people, I know it's not down to our responsibility, but with their road signs being damaged or can't read it and stuff like that, would you propose us to to say to them, bring that forward to Taunton Town Council or bring that for Somerset Council?
No, that's just responsibility of Somerset Council still. I did have a request a while back for repairing damage. I think there might be a form on the website to sort those things. So I can send that around.
Great. Right. So going on to the planning applications. To comment on planning applications received from the local planning authority. It's going to go up. Okay. First item is 38-25-0122, which is for planning commission conversion conversion of an undercroft parking into 9 number of residential apartments with associated works at Stephen House, Trenchard Way, Taunton. So if we had a look, we keep going down the second.
A corner.
Just trying to get my head around where this is again.
Location plan.
Yeah. Location would be great, please. Head up and get it.
Oh, it's that the new one at half bit bend? It's down the line.
Oh, yes, I see.
Oh, yeah, so this is where, yes, next door to the that's being kind of left out for time.
Opposite
Opposite that, isn't it?
the, isn't it? Yeah. Now, big building, but
Okay, so I think,
Sorry, I'm really struggling to, this is on the new road, isn't it, on the, and this is on the.
so you know where the,
As you're travelling towards the train station,
Yeah.
it's the, is that the Park Bill
Yeah.
building surrounded in scaffolding? It's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's converting the parking underneath the new building into more apartments.
it's not been finished yet, the building.
Yeah.
if we just go back, just have a look at their let's go with the existing elevations, sheet 1 and 2, and then we'll do both of those would be great. So that's currently what they're doing. So that's the existing.
Yeah.
Go down a little bit. We then go back onto the next one that's existing. Go to, great. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll go on the proposed to be great. Thank you. We have a look at the floor plan as well, what they're proposing. Go back. Proposed ground floor plan. Yeah, if we go back, sorry about it. Go back and go on existing, say for the existing floor plans. Might be fifth one from the bottom, just floor plans. One of the main things that I've read in a lot of these comments is that they're saying the reducing of the parking that will increase Trenchard really overflowing congestion. That's the lesson.
We like they're basically trying to get planning permission to build flats where the people in the flats above were supposed to park originally. And so in that case, no. Basically, is my opinion.
Yeah.
They're like, if you put 9 more flats in there, that's not 9 more cars, that's 9 more cars plus all the other cars that would have been parked where the 9 more cars were.
Exactly.
So I think this is absolutely no way. they need to have parking. There's nothing, nowhere, and nothing that they can do apart from not own a car if you live there otherwise. I mean, I know you're close to the railway station, but I don't
No.
think that's really practical.
You're not going to take a train.
And also, I think if these properties have been sold already prior to being bought, I think it's a little bit unfair if people have bought these to then be reducing in parking. I don't personally think it's the right thing to go about. If this was the case, first of all, they should have really gone through with the original plans, which would have probably got rejected anyway with the planning, with taking the parking away. So doing it later on in my eyes doesn't really change things. So yeah, was there any more comments on this? Councillor Tully?
It's simple, just to ask where's the extra parking spaces they intend to put in place from. That should be enough to stop it.
So really, on this account, really to object to this application, really on number 6, inadequate parking. That's probably the best way about going about it, really. So yeah, on this item, to object, number 6, inadequate parking. That's the case. Could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. The next item is 38-25-0146-A. Which is advertisement display of one non-illuminated fascia sign and one non-illuminated projecting sign. Yeah, so I know I'm saying that used to be where Treads used to be.
No, it's Jojo. No, maybe it isn't.
Treads there. I'll be honest, having a look at this, all of what they put in on the application, I didn't see any issues with this at all. It's just a shop front, really. I think there's shops all the way across the high street that have very similar signs. So I don't think
He's going to open the shop, then the answer is yes. It's
Mm.
fine.
yeah. Short but sweet. I think we probably agree on that. Councillor Lester.
Well, no, I'm just voting. Sorry, I'm seeing how many we've got.
I thought you wanted. Okay. So we'll get Councillor Thurman to propose it then. And Councillor Lester the second. Yeah, can we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you. The next item is 38-25-0138 or 28. Full planning permission, installation of 2 number of electric roof lights, rear first floor extension, with creation of screened balconies. Councillor Lester.
Just check. I haven't seen this one. Are there any complaints or are there any objections?
Entirely sure to check but from memory that a lot of the time the Velux windows isn't as such a big issue, but it's when you have screen balcony straight away. So we have to kind of take that into account. It'd be quite helpful if we could get this property even up on Google Maps, if that's okay.
No.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean,
If it's easier to see from the road, if it's up some lane, not. Sure. I have to say the position of the Velux I didn't have any issues with whatsoever. But like I say, if we have a look at the Google Earth, we can actually
That's where some set colleges are.
Yeah, straight opposite the college, yeah. I think if the balcony's out the front, is the balcony to the rear, they said?
It's at the rear.
Can't just say yes, it's.
Like I say, I'm looking at the, okay, so if we go back on the application, so, should we go? If we have a look at the, existing elevation, and then we'll have a look at the proposed elevation. We'll have a look at the existing elevation. We'll go, rear elevation is probably the most important one. Existing rear elevation.
First page.
Yes. It's because of Wi-Fi.
No, it's just if you leave a blank page open for long enough, it expires.
So that's the, is that proposed? Yeah.
That's the existing,
That's existing, yeah, it's existing. Yeah, if we have a look at the proposed, please. All that's happening is the Velux is sitting, you see the window on the right hand side, second floor.
Yeah.
The Velux is pretty much going on that pitch to the roof, kind of going back into the master bedroom, with a door that leads out to that balcony.
They're quite wide apart, those houses, then it's not.
That's what I was thinking.
together.
Yeah.
So,
You need to see from the front,
Yeah.
on Google Maps.
yeah, they're big plots.
Yeah.
Good. Right.
And to be honest, we're looking at next door, if it's right, if for layout, it looks like all the properties are along an L shape like this.
Yeah.
So where they put their balcony actually is going to be, if anything, is actually hidden away. On
Yeah.
how the shape of the property is to look at. Yeah. I didn't see any issues with this at all. Could I get okay, so to support this, could I get a proposer, Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder, Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried, thank you very much. Right. Next item, is 38-25-0143 CB, which is a Class B demolition of buildings, application to determine if prior approval is required for the next proposed demolition, Class B, of 2 number of the rear extensions and 1 number extension to the side of cell where it be special school. Look through this, I didn't see any issues at all with this.
They need it,
Yeah.
they need that.
Yeah, 100%. So,
Happy.
looking at the plans, there was no issues on my account that I picked up. And here?
No.
Cool. Could I get a, to support this proposer? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote? That's carried. Much. Next item, full planning permission. Conversion of loft into an ancillary accommodation with gable to hip roof and construction of dormers to the front. I'm saying this was a they've done it's literally just gone up into the yeah, but it's
Going off the hip roof.
yeah, but really good actually. more and more people doing it.
This, yeah,
If we have a look at the existing floor plan.
Where is it? I don't know.
That's currently the southwest elevations front. And then if we have a look at the proposed now, that'd be great, thank you. The making a lot more space in that
Yeah.
property. I actually like these design these properties because bungalows themselves have quite a big space. So to actually go up slightly higher and go into the loft though, what will that create up on that second floor then?
There are 2 bedrooms,
No,
bathroom.
yeah.
And an ensuite and an
What
office.
difference?
So
And on the ground floor, what is there currently on the ground floor? There's
it will be
a dining room.
it's currently a 2 bed or 2 to 3 bed
Yeah.
bungalow, and it'll be a 4 bed chalet, I suppose. It won't be a bungalow anymore, will it?
a family one.
Yeah, that's right.
Family.
I think
That's that property there.
Really interesting.
yes. Could we have a look at the comments as well that were made?
Yeah.
Yes. Probably the same.
I think the one from Blanchard was the one that's.
So I'd like to highlight my concerns as possible contract of parking material deliveries as part of the proposed planning application. This access point into a private road is the bottleneck where this property is located. Any contractors parked along this stretch of the road would restrict access for residents. Service vehicles, emergency vehicles. This section of the road also forms part of the public way, right of way footpath, which may place pedestrians at greater risk while passing due to parked vehicles. I'd like to reassure that offshore off street parking or alternative parking arrangements are made for the duration of this work that could be used by the contractors, tradespeople, homeowners while this project is undertaken. That does not impact any of the affected parties. I think her points are very clear. I think she's obviously been a resident for a long time, so she obviously shows that she's not actually got any issues with the application itself. She's just worried about people's
That's to be done, yeah.
safety. So, Castelli?
The planning committee could put a proviso in there that they can keep that area clear. That's not a problem.
Yes, it is the right way. T-360 that runs through the road.
So she's bang on there. Right. So yeah, I think like Councillor Tully said, we could
Support, but there's another comment from a member of the public around concerns around overlooking. I don't know if you want to agree.
yeah, do you want to read out that as well? This one here, the proposal of conversion into an ancillary accommodation will appear to give great line site direction from the proposed window straight in the front garden of our property. This clearly infringes on our privacy. The increased elevation would impact on the light in the evening that comes into our garden. Our property was purchased simply because we wanted the low-rise style buildings for privacy and the advantage of bungalow living. We use our front garden to enjoy the same way we use our rear garden as a place of peaceful, private ventilation. As it's a residential area, we would wish to understand the nature of the business to be run from the planned office space indicating those storage components.
Doesn't look like they're increasing every time.
Maybe Marcus could have some. I don't think that applies. They don't do it. It doesn't affect them. It's just one of those things. It certainly doesn't apply, does it, Marcus?
A lot from memory, loss of light.
There is sorry.
Yeah, go for, yeah, go.
There is a material consideration around overlooking loss of privacy or overshadowing nature of proposal that you could consider. But I don't know whether fact, in this case, whether the comments made, whether you agree or not, is up to you, I guess. Committee.
Yeah, I think personally from, looking at the actual plans themselves, what they actually want to propose, I don't see any issues with it at all. I think if anything, these properties that were built like this, that was designed at the time. People, want to be investing more in their houses than move. So the chance of these bungalows actually having more work done to go up higher than, when I say go up higher, just go into the loft, it's going to happen more and more. I actually think the actual size of the property is not increasing much bigger at all.
The footprint's not increasing, is it? It's just
All that's happening is just
square footage.
one glass window and
Yeah.
a window. No, my personal opinion, I would like to support this application. I would like to just note the access highway safety or traffic generation. Just
During the period of it being built.
during the duration that office works.
Yeah.
So make sure that, there are things in place while this work actually gets undertaken. I think we're pretty much all on the same page there.
Mhm.
Yeah, great. So to support, but also just to raise number 7. Could I get a proposal on that, please? Councillor Furman, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote? It's carried. Thank you very much. The next item is 52-25-0001. Full planning permission, replacement of the conservatory with the erection of a single story. Having looked at this application, looked pretty good actually. There was just one comment I did actually notice from one of the neighbours. I don't know if you guys have read it as well, where I think in the past they had I think they may have had the outside sprayed or something with this property, or next door had it sprayed, and it kind of got into the next door, and they said that there was loads of damage done from paint from where it was sprayed over. But also they said that their fishes were killed as well from the spray. So like I said, there's no proof that the spray actually killed the fishes, but yeah, yeah, I did see it. So okay, so are we on the application at the moment? Yes. Cool. Councillor Furman?
I suppose we have to ask, is any part of this application saying about spraying paint anywhere?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all we can say about.
Probably in an application like this, I can't see they detail how they're going to paint the walls. That would be really down to the discretion of the decorator at the time. I don't think anything on this list would probably allow us to even put that on. And I don't think as a committee we can kind of
How you decorate a building is outside the remit of this committee, I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay, so if we have a look at the elevation as the existing. Yeah. Have a look at the elevation as proposed. Just for reference, we just bounce back to the existing again. There we go. Thank you. So, a lot of times the reason why these conservatories are coming down is because they're cold in the winter, boiling in the summer. And to be honest, what they're built on with the foundations isn't really the best. So it's an easy fix to create an actual room you can live in, and you can actually work in and use. The footprint of the actual what they want to do is pretty much already there. All they're doing is putting more long-term structure in place, actually. I didn't see any issues with this. I just wanted to raise about the spray painting, but yeah, it did make me chuckle. I think I can put that on my list. Councillor Tully.
I suggest that we just say that matching, we have matching material.
Yeah.
That is important.
So if we go back, sorry to be a pain, if we go on the proposed elevations then. It probably surprised me if they were going to use different tiles or whatever, but I think definitely that's a good point to raise.
Yeah.
You know, I think we should support this application, but I think we should add a comment. The general observation, other reasons, sorry, of making sure that materials are to match the existing. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
So if we're all in agreement, can I get a proposal? Councillor Lester, can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Tully, can we have the vote, please? It's carried, thank you. Our hands in there, I think. Okay, so this is quite a list. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the next 8 are all to talk about removal of BT payphones and installation of a BT street hub on the pavement. Now these are all different positions. Also included on that, there's a display of an LCD display screen on as well. So as good, could we go to, if we look at one, how do we look? And what we do, we'll go on Google Maps and we shoot in each location just to go. Location plan should pretty much show where we are on those anyway, so save us on Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, John. I think they have put some mock-ups in some of the applications.
Yeah.
Of what they would look like in some of the relevant locations as well.
You got on the photo montage. Sorry. Where did we paint? No, location plan. No, I'm joking. Photo montage should be great, please. Third one from the top, I think.
Yeah, one word. Good. That is your, that's definitely 2 words.
That's each reach. So it's like a board. I think these are 2 LCD display screens, so that probably get up on both sides. Okay. And if we have a look on the location, I've actually seen these pop up around the next to it as well. I've got the van names.
Okay.
So I guess his first application is, as we've seen outside, it's the gym, Nuffield gym. So on that right hand side, I haven't got any issues with this. I think even if we date back to the early stages of Taunton Town Council, we spoke about in support of bringing advertising into Taunton Town Council with LCD screens. And we'd spoken about another competitor in the past about quite a similar thing. So for them saying for this as well, I can't see why we say no. It would literally come down to the location to see if they're in the right place, but I don't see any issue with this one.
No, not this one.
No.
Councillor,
Do we know if the screens will be on 24/7 or will it be just during the day and perhaps some of the?
yeah, good point. So if we go back a second, a big document, but if we go on the professional lighting guide, the brightness of the illuminated advertisement, including digital displays. Somewhere in here. Have a look. Anybody see that any faster? People. Yes, I've got Marcus.
There's the two screens automatically dim at night to 600 CDM2. Not sure what that means. Following daylight hours and in accordance with the levels set for this type and size of screen.
Okay, so it means, yeah, so they're dimmed down. Yeah. On that account, yeah, I don't see any issues with that at all. The location looks pretty good. Gets dimmed. Yes, bringing advertising into Taunton, which we've spoken about highly in this council. So
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with this on this first application. I know we've got a few to go through. So
Let's skip to location.
Yeah. Okay, so on this application first, could I get a proposer to support this application, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Lester, Firma, can we go to the vote?
Can't do both.
That's carried. The next application is 38-25-0147, which is full planning permission, removal of BT payphone and installation of one number of BT street hub on pavement. So let's have a look at the street location for this one. Or actually, look on the photo montage. That's a great start. That actually shows where it is. So what they're taking down really is the phone box as such.
It's not opening up.
It would, because I'll be honest, they just get abused anyways.
Yeah.
That's from
With the advertising, do we know if they will include local businesses that can advertise through it?
That's a good point. August?
Yeah, I think they've got in their planning statement, they offer the same as POV subs, which is the 5%, 876 hours for
Great.
council advertising it. And then I think there was another comment in there around those local trust funds.
Yeah, so the first one was an advertisement application. This is actually the planning application to take out.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Then
kind of guess we can agree on both and then.
Yeah.
Okay, so could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Lester, can we get a seconder, please? Councillor Furman, can we go to the vote? It's carried, thank you very much. So they're in groups of two. Right. Next one, 38-25-0151. Which is removal of BT payphone installation of a BT street hub on pavement again. So if we have a look at the photo montage, if it so that's probably a good, quite good position actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still payphones there.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I must walk straight by if I just must, I didn't think so.
I was just about to raise that point because there's a couple, there's one there and there's one near the plough as well outside the Turkish barbers.
Yeah.
And there isn't an existing payphone there, which is the only question that I was not sure about because they've listed about removing payphones and replacing, so I didn't know if you wanted to say something about there isn't currently a payphone at either
The
location.
only thing it could be is that it used to have a payphone there.
It would,
And what they've actually done is left the cables underneath.
Yeah.
They've gone like remove the actual, well, remove the evidence of the payphone, which is that's there. So there.
They're looking to get rid of the bin, the bin stay. Behind it.
So it's outside the town shopping.
Yeah.
I'd say where that black square is where the bin is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much there is where I'd say that's where there's the cables.
That's where it used to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep the bin.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we don't.
but long as the bins.
No, that's really.
Yeah, I don't see any issues with this location.
No.
Yeah. So like the last one, I think it's good to look at the location, which is key. Could I get a support for this proposer? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? Good, thank you very much, Carrie. The next one is, can't get so caught up in all of these. Right, the removal, so the next one, 38-25-0149, which is a full planning permission removal of BT payphone installation of one BT street hub on pavement. If we go down a little bit onto the photo montage.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I think I would like these probably on that one is just down
Yeah.
there. It's-
No, there.
Yeah.
And the thing is because yeah, there'd probably be a high amount of people that probably get their bike up on that curb on that
Yeah.
pavement
Yeah.
as well. I'm gonna probably say on that one. Yeah. To the
Through 90 degrees, it'd be fine.
That's fair enough.
to the position really.
Yeah.
From that. The design, appearance, impact and public visual menacing.
It's more right way. It's more, I think it actually blocks the pavement. and it looks
Access,
that-
highway, safety and traffic jam.
Yeah, I think so.
Is there any more comments on this one?
Not a great place for one. I think they're a good idea. Not there.
No,
So to object this one on number 7, access, highway, safety and traffic generation. Could I get a proposer? Councillor Lester, could I get a second? Sally, should we go to the vote, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. The next one is 38-25-013. 38-25-0150-A, which is display of 2 number of digital LCD screens on the street help unit on the pavement.
This one is for,
So these are backing up the last 2 we've just seen.
yeah, so this one is for the station road.
Yeah, so if we carried our objections onto that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so could I get a proposer, please? Mr. Flannery, vote a seconder. Councillor Lester, can we go to the vote? It's carried. Marcus?
Sorry, Joe, just found the bit that Councillor Fairman said about, so they say they offer discount advertising for local business groups such as bids and chambers of commerce and their members through our Street Help Partners programme.
Okay. Hope they'll get in contact with us. And I guess the next item is the one outside Devon's. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's,
So we've already done that one.
yeah, I mean, we've done it, but we've not
Not done
gone
that
through
one.
the advertising side of things. So 38-25-0148-A, advertisement application display of 2 number of digital LCD display screens on the street units on the pavement. This is for outside bedrooms. Would we like to have a look at it anyway? Again, or we have
Is that the one outside Poundland?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're just, yeah, we're happy with that one.
school? So to support, could I get a proposer? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go as a vote? Carry, thank you. The next one, I think there's a pair. These BT street hubs. So this next application is 38-25-0153, which is removal of a BT payphone and installation of one number of BT street hubs on pavement outside of go to montage, please, and then location.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There's too many cars driving past that.
That's an ideal place for it.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And what they've actually been quite good about was if where the body shop was, if that was a cafe, then we'd probably be discussing it because they may have had, you know, tables outside. But because they've actually gone central to the whole of the place, yeah, I haven't actually got an issue with this. Councillor Flynn?
No, I was just thinking that there's sometimes, you know, sort of like one of those food traders slightly in that area. I don't know whether that would,
That's where one of them.
Thursday markets.
yeah.
What might be quite a good idea here, whether we could support this application, what we could do in other reasons is to kind of, I guess it's the location there, because I was going to say maybe a bit digging to actually find where the street change, but they, you know,
Why don't they just work around it?
Councillor Tully?
Yeah, it's the pie chap at the park there. That's his place, his spot.
Marcus?
It's ideal.
In Google Maps, there's a phone
There it is.
box there. They work around it presumably.
All right.
Okay.
It's another one because I kind of feel like what
There is one.
There is, yeah.
I kind of feel like what's the point in putting one there if there's a street trader there 7 days of the week?
That's up to them,
I
isn't
don't know. Where they're proposing it to go is there.
Oh,
Whether
yeah,
it's
it's got
got
a
now
something
something
just bin again.
so we can plug in.
The phone boxes.
Shall I tell you what I think they've actually done? I think we've put bins wherever the old phone box used to be.
The scar in the floor.
Channels.
Yeah. Be sensible. Sounds a bit too well, isn't it?
Two less bins we've got to change. Yeah, I haven't got an issue with this application. So to support this application, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Tully, could I get a seconder? Councillor Berman, could we go to the vote, please? Carried. Could we go to the next item, which is an advertisement, which is 28-25-01, which display of two LCD display screens on the street. I'm just reading it out. Please. On a massive front base.
Oh, yeah.
Street hub unit on the pavement. So this date, this goes back to the last one we've just spoken about. I haven't got any issues with this. So my comments are probably going to carry on to this. To support, could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a second, please? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote? Carried. Thank you very much. Right, the next item is
Sorry, Jack, I think there's there was some issues with the agenda since it was published with some of the number. Sorry, I meant to say at the start of the meeting that
yeah, there was one which is 38-25-0111. We'd already actually decided last month on that one.
The sash windows looks familiar as well.
The sash windows we'd already spoken about. So that's 38-05-0102-LB. We'd already spoken about that one.
I think the correct agenda is on this student, so I just want to make sure that we're flowing correctly.
I'm actually not on decisions, I'm actually on the agenda. So.
Yeah.
We've just done.
We've just done
BT one.
Yeah, that's right.
So now we're 38.25.0111.
Right there. So
Yeah, that's right.
we are on 38 dash 25-0153. Oh no, sorry. Sorry, I'm getting very confused. 38 dash 25-0111.
Yeah.
Correct. We already actually spoke about this one. It says at the top, am I right at the top? Taunton.
We certainly spoke about the one after it.
Okay, so this is full plan permission erection of a single story extension to the rear. Yeah, that was it. Sorry. Already did. There was already a decision on it.
So
When I said already decision, I meant that. Yeah. So yeah, it's already been a decision. So it's rather pointless out. That's
No,
I believe the next one.
also, withdrawn.
Yeah, withdrawn. So the one.
we'd already spoken about.
Yeah,
it.
that's what we spoke about last week, last month, maybe. Yeah.
So we move on then to the.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is void 38-25-0111 because it's already had a decision. We're also going to be voiding 38-05-0102-LB because we already discussed this last month. We're going to now be continuing on to 38-25-0155-LB, which is listed building consent works, various internal and external design amendments to consented dwelling. Application 38-22-0103 at Weir Lodge, 83 Staple Grove Road, Taunton. So having read the heritage design access statement, they actually said the changes to the dwelling will sit more comfortably and function more efficiently with what's currently there. We have a look at various internal and external. We have a look at the existing floor plan. We have a look at all of the existing, starting from the bottom. Sorry, if you go out to the top, sorry, existing floor plan. If we have a look at the, if we go back a second, sorry. You go back a second, sorry. If you go on the existing north and the east elevation, existing, like the one you just passed. Then if we have a look at the, if you go back again, have a look at the existing south and west elevation, please. Okay. Now, if we go on the, if you go back, so the plan amending application, if we have a look at the proposed east elevation and west.
East and west.
Yeah, great. Have a look at the heritage design access statement then, please. Interim adjustment to level. Design. That's fine. We go back. West. South. Issues are roof lights, cool. Shores, kitchen, dining room, replacement brick. Adjustments to level. Yeah. Fine. Now if you go back now, south elevation. Yeah, no issues. And then yeah, if we have just look at the heritage design access thing. Yeah. Conclusion at the bottom would be helpful. Summary, so, like you requested the local. Proposal, which. Okay. To be honest, what I'm seeing, what's being proposed, it seems like it's all keeping property in full order to, it's not, I wouldn't say it's contrasted into what the other property looks like in there. So I personally haven't got any issues with this, and especially if listed building or heritage is happy with it. Is there any comments on this? No. Could I get a proposed to support this application in, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Furman, could I get a second? No, right, go to the vote. Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much. Right, the next application is 38-25-0145, which is full planning permission, erection of 2-story extension to the side of 1 Trevitt Road, Taunton. Okay, so if we have a look at the existing elevation, and then we'll go to the proposed elevation just after. Thank you. Straight away when I seen this house, I thought on the existing front elevation that how much it would look better if it was symmetrical on the front. If we go now back to the proposed. Head back, just sorry, if we head back to the elevation, not floor plan. Yeah, if you head backwards and then go on the proposed elevation, that'd be great. Thank you. Is there any chance as well we'd be able to get this up on Google Maps where that's actually is? Is that okay? Does anybody know where Trevitt Road is? No? 1 Trevitt Road.
Well, it's near the Shepherd's Rest pub.
I was going to say, yeah.
Side road.
It's in your badge.
I was going to say I've delivered leaflets then. We should know exactly where it is.
Straight away. That's what I said.
No, it was a test. Failed.
Number 6. Is it the big houses, aren't they, around there? Those on your right hand side there. I think it's the one with the silver car on the right hand side, I'm going to say, looking at there if you go along that road. Maybe that one. To your left, sorry. On the back door. So that's that house there.
Six passengers in the car.
Look at that. I don't have any issues with that.
No.
What you want to do, this. Yeah, especially if they've got the drive, you've got a double drive. It's not like if there was a house possibly where that car was. But no,
The house line's empty.
That seems to me it's right on the corner as well, doesn't it? So it's not like there's any neighbours or anything. So, any comments? No. Okay, so getting Phil to support this application. Could I get a proposal, please? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder? Councillor Furman, can we go to the vote, please? Thank you.
Do you need me to vote? Is there not enough of us?
No, it's 3-3.
Coffee, one sugar, please.
There's no hot water.
Right, the next item is 38. Oh yeah, do it? No, we need 3, so that's fine. So the next item is 38-25-0135, which is full planning permission, installation of jet wash facilities with associated Wellington Road, Service Station, Wellington New Road, Bishop's Hole. Head down. We just have a look at existing and proposed street scene. That'd be great. One thing that I've just added to my comments is that I just want it going into details, just making sure that the correct drainage is put in place. So, because obviously when cars are obviously jet washed off, you know, the amount of oils that are on, you don't want that going into, you know, rainwater goods and stuff like that. Councillor Fromm?
So it's just sort of just upgrading what's already there, because they already, they do have the electric car wash there already.
Yeah, it's just making sure that, you know, if they're upgrading it, so make sure that their drainage is still correct to dispose of the rubbish water. That's my only addition. I have no issues with this to support, but that's the only thing I would like to just add. Just if that's okay, just add a comment to making sure that still the supporting drainage is correct to dispose of waste. If that's the case, could I get to support? Could I get a proposer? Councillor Tully? So seconder. Councillor Furman, can we go to the vote?
No, that's it.
It's carried. Thank you very much. We didn't need him anyway, did we? Oh, that's the question. Is it?
No water.
The next item is 38-25-0166-CG. Class G, change from Class E to C3. I feel like a dentist. Application to determine if prior approval is required for proposed change of use from commercial business and service use Class E into 2 number dwelling use Class C3. So we are currently looking at the license class change, so from Class E to C3. If we have a look at the existing floor plans, sections and elevations, please, and then we'll have a look at the proposed, please. In my head exactly where this is as well.
This is above the Brainwave charity shop in town on the high street where you've got next door to like St Margaret's, not a million miles away from Pizza Express.
Oh yeah.
On the right hand side.
On the same bit as Pizza Express.
So the Pizza Express on the right, and this is just before. Right hand side, just after you've got the club. Yeah, it used to be a foot place, am I right?
That's right.
So it's
Yeah.
I know the place. Never been in there, but. Yeah, so what they're going to be doing, so looking at the proposed at the moment, it's obviously an office. They obviously want to turn it into residential or HMO or something like that. So pretty cool layout. If we now go back, have a look at proposed. And one of the things that I did, if you go slightly down as well, please. One of the things that I did notice on this is actually the flats themselves from the plans didn't actually look too bad as size. It's quite a big property. How did you get in there?
Goodland's name.
Wow,
They all have parking provisions.
wow.
Parking, yeah.
So there's parking provisions. Are they putting in a, I guess they're putting in a bike shed as well, which. Yes. Yeah. I think currently looking at this, is there any comments on this?
I say it doesn't look like the worst one, if you know what I mean.
The thing is, it being in these big properties, you either got two choices. This could probably be 6 flats.
Yeah.
Be
It wouldn't be big enough.
and
yeah.
they've definitely got good balance.
Yeah.
I think it's quite generous sized flats. And it actually is quite nice to see a property of this size being put into the residential. I quite.
Is there any, does it show anywhere the actual square meterage against each flat? Anyway. There's no scale.
Sure.
Is there? I mean, you can scale off the furniture, but you can draw furniture any size.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you remember that one that we looked at up South Street and
Yeah.
the toilet and it was like
Yeah.
minuscule? I think if you sat on it, your toe would like too big for it. No. I think if you looked at the scale of like the sash window,
Yeah, the doors are
Yeah.
100, doesn't it? And the sashes, yeah, okay. No, that's fine.
Got supporting statement, it says anything in there?
4.7, that's it, that's millimeters, isn't it? Course, that's 5 meters across, that one.
That's,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, that's pretty big, yeah.
Meters the other way.
Yeah, it must be, yeah, 7, 8 meters, 8 by 5 is not a small room, is it?
It's nice. I think the only thing I would like to add, is just, if they haven't already, just for a comment, is to, for a bike shed. Because I can't actually see it on this plan of the bike shed.
The only thing they've
That's
put in the
useful.
supporting statement is that the proposed development would include an area for cycle storage.
Look at that.
Pavement.
Okay, so they've covered all bases then, I'll probably say on that account.
Yep.
I'd probably say they're good sized flats.
Yeah.
I think they've not put 5 cupboards in a room to show the storage when the cupboards are probably like pockets. So, yeah, I think they've been quite generous on all floors. So, and they're, you know, they have put in their plans as well about putting a space for cycle storage and there's parking as well. Yeah, I think they've covered all the bases. I haven't got a problem. So to support this application, could I get a proposal? Councillor Lester, could I get a second? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote? That's carried. Thank you very much. Next item is list of building consent works on number 38-25-0167-LB, which is various external repairs and alterations. So having worked near this property down the road, driven past the property quite a few times, and actually what they're wanting to do completely makes sense. Properties at this age take a lot to upkeep, and I think definitely properties like this we need to be looking after. So somebody obviously is wanting to maintain it to the best of its age. So if we had a look at the existing section AA, third from the bottom. I think there were some pictures which will show you the state of the current place. If we go back, sorry. Let's say existing north and south. Where was the pictures I seen the other day?
Design and access stick.
Oh yeah, right at the top. That might be the one.
Yeah.
Balcony, look, and it's out that. Pictures of that.
oh, yeah.
So this is if you you came out of Tesco's. Yeah, come out of Tesco's, you go right, you come to the lights. You go left there, and it's about 50 meters down on the left hand side.
Okay.
There's actually an old people's complex as well. So I think this is where the management live, or there are flats that are part of this anyway. I think from the statement, from what I was reading, that works that we're undertaking is pretty much yeah, putting the property back to how it should be, and putting it back correctly, because I think prior works or past works has obviously failed or hasn't been done for a long time, so it's getting worse.
Yeah.
As you can see, it doesn't look in the best condition. So yeah, this building didn't have any issues with it at all. They're in full support.
Yeah.
Kind of echoed what I'm saying anyway. So, is there any more comments on this? No? Okay, so to support this application, can I get a proposal, please? Lester, can I get a second, please? Councillor Burnley, can we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. Next item is 38-25-0159, which is full planning permission, installation of an air-to-air heat pump in the rear garden.
You can have permission for a heat pump. Really?
Okay,
It doesn't say.
let's go on to those in montage.
Massive.
We can't.
No. Yes, you can.
We can't do anything about
Didn't think.
No, you must have gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsored by.
Anything,
Where are they putting it?
if we have a look on the proposed, now, what they might be doing is that it might be actually going on a higher level on the
Yeah.
wall instead of low down. I don't know.
That's kind of
Existing and proposed elevation would be great. So come on down. I'm sorry, from the top. Existing and proposed elevation. Yeah, thank you. Oh, no, it's going down. Sure. That's any issue with
No.
it. Yeah. Any comments?
Why are you asking? No.
No worries. Could I get a proposal to support this? Yeah. Tony, can I get a second? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote, please? Scary. Thank you very much. Next item is NA-59519. Application for, oh, okay, so is this bounced forward? Marcus, sorry, on the actual agenda piece. I think this one should have been in the licensing matter, is that right? Or not?
068. 0168.
Dash 59519.
We've got the Killings one.
Yeah, we've got that, yes, so you've got,
That's,
that one should have been down here, really, shouldn't it?
yeah, so I think if we're going by decisions, which is the accurate. Oh, sorry, there's one more application.
Yeah.
38-25.
Yes. Yeah, okay, yeah.
15 Killings present.
Yeah, let's bounce that one then, I think.
Does anyone actually genuinely want to drink one of them up?
Yeah. Oh, I'm all good, mate. Yeah,
So-
thank you. Go on down. So this is for works of,
It's for the floor planning permission for the erection of a single story extension to the rear of the garage at 14 Killings Crescent, Taunton.
lovely. Much. So if we have a look at site photos, which is the second one down, please. Yeah, correct. I'm
No,
confused.
no, you can't.
I'm definitely confusing you. Okay. If we have a look at, if we go back, we have a look at proposed. Right, let's have a look at the existing elevation, ground floor and first floor and roof plans. One at the bottom, please. Then we'll bounce up to the proposed, please. Thank you. This is currently existing. Double garage with kitchenette office. Yeah. Okay, so if we have a look at the proposed. Yeah, so we're keeping it exactly there. We're doing is just burning a gym out in the back with some bifolds. Which already has a patio.
A hobby room, can take it from there.
Be honest, looking at the pictures as well from the site photos, don't see how this is going to have any issues.
It's got any windows except for the bifolds, so it's only facing onto their own garden.
Unsurprisingly, it's probably what, 4.85 meters by
Yeah,
far.
so much, isn't it?
I think looking at the application, as long as materials are matched as existing, because I know Killam's have, you know, all of the bricks throughout the whole estate. So yeah, if I wouldn't have a problem with this application to support, but I just want to make sure that materials are used to match existing. Any more comments in the room? No? Okay. So to support this application, but to add that comment about matching materials. Great. Could I get a proposer? Councillor Lester, could I get a second? Councillor Furman, could we go to that? Carried. So, am I saying that's correct now, Marcus? Now we're bouncing on to the licensing. So, to comment on licensing matters received from local licensing authority. So the first item is MA dash 59519, which is an application for street trading consent. Application for street trading consent. Food Shack, 4th Street, Taunton. Plans in relation to the street trader wishing to apply for a trading pitch on the Taunton 4th Street near Wildwood. C plan. This would be sale or filming.
New application or reapplication?
No, actually.
It's already there, aren't they? All right.
I think so, 2 7 days, does he?
No, maybe he wants to show us.
New.
This is
It's on the application, on the application.
Oh, okay.
That's great again. You know, more street traders, Taunton, which is really good, which will hopefully bring more footfall as well.
Mm.
And also with the works that Taunton Town Council are doing to take on the electrics. So this is really exciting to actually know that it's not just existing, but more interest in Taunton for street trading, which is great. Looking at the plans and the position being right outside Wildwood. I know currently, maybe just in front of that, you've got Pokeball, a gourmet pokey, which they're saying is just there. Serving hatch, 240 inches, yeah. So you're going to have pretty much the Pokeball near, not right next to it. That's right.
Yeah, I thought Poke had moved over to the, unless I got confused, they'd moved next to Super Juice, but I could be.
It was talking about.
Yes. Information.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't driven through the centre of Taunton in about a month. So the last time I drove past, Pokeball was still there. So unless that was done in the last 4 weeks.
I think they have moved.
Cool, okay. If that's the case, then I haven't got any issues. It's literally going back in the same patch as what Pokeball was. And yeah, it's great to see that another street trader is wanting to trade in Taunton again.
Yeah.
I haven't got any issues with this. I don't know if anybody else has got any comments. Okay, so to support this application, we get a proposer, Councillor Lester. If we go seconder, Councillor Tully, can we go to the vote? It's carried. Thank you very much. Next application is. It's quite strange because I've decided to go back on to decisions, but then actually that is slightly different. So the Coutans are now bouncing this.
59377.
Application for a pavement license, application and plan for a pavement license for Coutan Curry Club, 52 to 53 St James Street, Taunton, TA1 1JH. This allow for tables, chairs at the front of the property, 12 to 9 o'clock. Monday to Saturday and 12 to 6 on Sundays. If I'm actually sure that's when this company came to back last year, I'm pretty sure that they were going to have tables at the front anyway.
Just next to Hubble's.
Yeah, so is this a brand new application or is this a renewal application? Just having a look. Are you in really
So I thought that was already.
But I'll be honest, I walked past it the other day and there was no tables and chairs outside.
They weren't.
No, because I literally walked past all the glass to look inside. So the area will be defined with road barriers, which is good.
This is a new license. You've got
New license. Well, I think if I'm correct in saying, if I look back in records when Coutan wanted to put the actual the business there, we had no issues with the chairs that they proposed back then. I actually
seen
do
the road down the window, isn't it?
I can remember because I think they were going to have like a hard one that's going to be permanent all the time. But it seems to me that this with the rope and everything, they'll take in every night. So it's not as permanent if it needed to. I know Hotbox has got the exact same layout outside their property, so it's hard to really. You've got flower beds there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, you got the flower box, the square flower box in the middle of the street.
Yeah, actually, you've got the planters at the end of the road only that sort of stop car traffic.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I would say is that obviously people cycle and use that. I think previously you commented about making sure that access and egress down St James Street is not affected, but if it's right against the building, it shouldn't.
I wonder if that would come up in Google Maps. What's the chance that the Google's driven down that road in the last
Still the road, I dare say.
record?
Still be a swimming pool then.
Okay.
It'll be since it's pedestrian, so you can where the big company. So there's a bit of hard standing.
Yeah. Anybody? Any comments? No. No. I think the hours they propose, the layout, the barriers. I think that's really good. Keeps it completely separate to no problems. Could I get a proposal, please, for support? Councillor Lester, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? That's carried. Thank you. The next item is MA-59554. Application to vary premises license. Application to vary the existing premises license for Turmeric Kitchen on Station Road in Taunton. Turmeric Road is on the left-hand side, isn't it? It's like a green and black design, am I right?
It's up by Ralcom, what was Ralcom wine shop. It's opposite the Grand Centre.
It's pretty much like the fourth or fifth shop before you go under the bridge on the left-hand side. It's green and black. It's green and black.
Anything to do.
Pretty sure. So the application of varied license, that application of varied existing premises license, trim kitchen.
So vary from what to what? Am I being bigged in?
So, let's have a look. So I installed.
There was an article in the Gazette this week about it. So they bought the building next door to expand the restaurant into, and they are wanting to extend the alcohol license into the next door premises, and also be able to have music licensed for evening music.
Issues with it at all. You know, what they're doing, like you said, is extending it into next door, which the issues. Could I get to support this? Councillor Fermat, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, can we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. Now, if I'm correct in saying, next is submission of comments, feedback on behalf of the town council to notification of planning applications in the area. So, which is, there's a 21 days window. So there's one item, that's right, that we highlighted.
Yeah, it's the one at Orchard Grove, wasn't it?
So this is 42-22-0056, which is reserved matters, application for approval of reserved matters following an outline application. 42-23-0016, the strategic infrastructure work associated with the delivery of infrastructure roads WR02 and WR03 at Orchard Grove's new community, including associated green infrastructure and good training.
Can we take a look at it, please? It's mine on here. Favourite development.
Where should we start?
Location plan.
Yeah, location plan, correct, please. Get my head around whereabouts.
I know something where that is.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Is there any chance we can vote to extend this for extend the meeting?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're happy with that?
yeah, just
The proposer, Councillor Ferman, could I get a seconder? Councillor Lester, could we go to the vote? Yeah. Gary.
you know where it is, but I just want to check if it is exactly where I think it is. Have a look at this one.
With the turmeric question, it was yellow and black, not.
There it is. I've had a takeaway from there delineating it. It's a good one.
Sure, interesting.
Oh, should I grab that? Yeah.
Takeaway. Perfect, Marcus.
This one is interesting view from the green infrastructure officer that the number of trees proposed along both streets has not been maximised. and highlighting the Garden Town visions, theme of growing our town greener, for greener streets and increased tree cover. So he's recommending that the street coverage should be increased. He's also recommending that the tree pits and verges along both streets be integrated into the drainage strategy as rain gardens or bioswales to attenuate and potentially clean surface runoff. He's also made a general comment in around estate plans. There are not any dimensions that would help in understanding the width of the various street components, which is important to ensure the pavements and cycle lanes are wide enough to accommodate different users.
Because it's where we're looking is straight the red. If we go back to their plan, sorry, now I'm just checking and was this right? It's the entrance there or the exit of Queensway. And we, myself and Judy went and had a look, and there's no. It's hard to see it on a flat plan, but it's like the angle of the road is like very steep. You see where.
Microphone there.
Just so just looking at it, just checking. This is Queensway. This here, I think, is supposed to be a bus gate. Is that right? And if you actually stand there, I don't know how a bus is going to get around that corner. Someone must have done the measurements, but we were stood there going, I have no idea how that works. So we had genuine concerns that it simply didn't look like someone had done the maths properly even.
Oh, Caps sorry.
Do you know from that corner, from the road that's already there, some of the elevates?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna get around that.
It doesn't look like there's enough room for a bus to get through the gate they're building for it. To be honest, it really looks tight. I think genuine reservations about it.
So, top of that, with what Mark's obviously read out about the green officer, they've obviously highlighted a few things about obviously the tree layout.
Yeah,
and also the
back
rain
there.
Exactly.
And I don't know what they're planning to do about that, but it's all the hedges have been already they're gone already on that section.
So kind of going through from what Councillor Lester said about obviously the access of there, would it be a point to be raised at this point?
I think going back to what we're actually asked, what is the actual question they're asking? Is it for us to approve that red section?
Reserve matters following approval of reserve matters following outline application for strategic infrastructure works associated with the delivery of infrastructure roads WR02 and WR03 at Orchard Grove new community, including associated green infrastructure and drainage.
Yes, it needs to be done, but I think the actual layout itself, having that bus gate in the position it's in, just doesn't look right. And so I think someone needs to have another proper look at it, to be honest.
I think it might be worth adding that to our comments anyway on this, just for people to be, even if they're made aware of that, that's what you're. It's in your ward, and if you're aware, it's your.
It was something that I think was it was myself and Judy went and had a look, but it was raised by another member of the public who lives along the lane as well. So
I think really can we highlight along with the fact with the green officer as well about the layout of the trees, I think need addressing, and also with the drainage needs that's the rest.
So the other, it's related as well on as you come further down Cometro Lane, where they've started doing the work above, the bank is starting to fall into what is now a no-through road, and it's actually starting to narrow, and that's a route that the kids and families take to school. And it's actually, if you look at the width as it was as a single track road, it's not
the bank has started to invade the road itself as well. So there's something, we've raised that separately. But because we had the meeting, it was a few weeks ago now, wasn't it, I think. So that's a separate thing, but it's all really, all of this work in that area is all kind of related. And actually, of course, that was why we talked about the bus gate as well. I think I could speak to that.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Just on that, I understand that they have instructed a full tree conditions.
Yes, they did, yeah.
The site, and
I did see them.
they are going to go along and do a general tidy up carried out now with loose debris removed. And then booking for hedgerow and tree maintenance in September once the bird nesting season is.
That's right. Yeah, I did read the email, so I know it's in hand, but I think the actual bus gate bit itself is, like I said, it's all kind of related.
Okay, so us being Taunton Town Council, I think is rather keen that we add Simon's comments on board about the bus gate anyway. I think also just comment on and reading from the actual green officer, I think we should really add about the thing on here. The
Loss of trees, is it, or
the loss of trees. Say loss of trees would probably be the right thing. Also, getting back on their flood risk as well, their drainage. It's probably
It's going to get a lot more runoff.
he's tied it to the Garden Town Vision document, which is planning policy of conscience.
so. I definitely think we can definitely say whether we obviously on this application whether to object, support, or comment. Councillor Lester.
Just in terms of objecting, are we actually giving the green light for that layout to go forward?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because you can see, look at it, you can see there's a dog leg where that, it's almost a chicane where the bus gate is.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can agree to approve it as it's drawn.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to see in 2D like this, but when you're there, as Ed said, you're talking about the bank is 12 feet high.
Yeah.
So you're rising, you're not just going through a dog leg, you're going through a dog leg and rising several meters. And it just looks fraught with buses not getting through it.
Okay. I think on that account then, I think there's a lot of negatives coming from what we're raising, from Busgate to the verge to the drainage issues to, it's now's the time if we want to put our comments in to be worthy, is now that we actually say it. It's too late.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So really on that account, it would probably be loss of trees, number 5. It would be access highway safety or traffic generation, which is number 7, and probably number 9, which is flood risk, due to following on from the green officer's points. I think it's pretty clarity and transparent on those items. Is there any more comments on this? No? Yeah. Okay, so to object on the 40 things object.
Yeah, I think so. There's too much that doesn't look right about it. It needs
to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so to object, with the items of, sorry to confirm that again, number 5, number 7, and number 9, and just really on other reasons, just getting back onto the green officer's points, and also about the bus gate, that would be good for me. Could I get a proposal on that, please? Sure. Councillor Lester, could I get a second, please? Councillor Furman, could we go to the vote, please? It's carried. Thank you very much. Is there anything else? No.
Would you need to have a general vote for the overall comments as well if there are no comments?
No worries. So, could we get a vote, for that for pretty much all over the last 21 days?
Yeah.
Is that right? Has there been any comments on this?
I don't believe there have been, but
It may not come via.
no.
Exactly. Okay, so, if that is the case, could I get a proposal on that then, please, to support councillor Furman? Could I get a second there? Councillor Tully, could we go to the vote, please? Carried, thank you very much. That is conclusion then, thank you very much.